I'm Dr. Sonal. I'm PhD in computer science, and I'm presently working as assistant professor in Bennett University in India. And I'm also founder of Children Who Code, with a motive to technically train every child and make them competent and job ready. So we are working on various innovative ways to make coding and computer science and technology interesting and accessible to them. So today's talk is on responsible AI. We will be talking about like what is responsible AI, why do we need it, how it is being implemented in the top firms, and what its future. So, a few years back, Microsoft released its maybe in the 2016, Microsoft released its AI-based chatbot, Tay via Twitter. So the bot was trained to generate its responses based on the interactions with the users. But there was a catch. Various users started posting offensive tweets towards the bot, resulting in Tay making replies in the same language. The bot basically turned into a racist, sexist, and hate machine. So, less than a day after the initial release, it was taken offline by the developer company, followed by an official apology for the bot's controversial tweets. So, this is just one of the examples of the dark side of AI. One of the many, to be honest. So, the world knows quite a few cases where the AI went wrong. So, for some, the term AI can provoke thoughts of progressive and productivity. For others, the outlook is less positive. So many concerns such as unfair decisions, workers being replaced, and lack of privacy and security are valid. So to make things worse, many of these issues are unique to AI. This means existing guidelines and laws are not suitable to address them. This is where responsible AI comes in. It aims to address the issues and create accountability for AI systems. So the development of fair, trustworthy AI is up to the discretion of the data scientist and the team of scientists and software developers who write and deploy a specific organization's AI algorithmic models. This means that the steps required to prevent discrimination and ensure transparency vary from company to company. So, what is responsible AI? It's basically a set of principles or guidelines, we can say, and normative declarations which used to document and regulate how artificial intelligence systems should be developed, deployed, and governed to comply with ethics and laws. So, organizations attempting to deploy AI models responsibly first build a framework with predefined principles, ethics, and rules to govern the AI. So the framework can include details on what data can be collected, how models should be evaluated, and how to best deploy and monitor the models. So framework can also define who is accountable for any negative outcomes of AI. So frameworks will differ between companies. Some will define specific approaches and others will uh, be more open to interpretation. So they all seek to achieve the same thing. This is to create AI systems that are interpretable, fair, safe, respectable for a user's privacy. Why responsible AI is important? As AI advances, more and more companies use various machine learning models to automate and improve the task that used to require human intervention. And when we talk about like ML model, an ML model is an algorithm. Like we use variety of algorithms like decision trees, random forest, neural networks. What is ML model? They are trained on data to generate the prediction and help a computer system or a human or their tandem to make decisions. Decisions can include anything from telling whether the transaction is fraud to accept declined loan applications to detect brain tumors on MRIs or working as a diagnosis support tool for doctors. So the models and data they are trained on are far from perfect. They may introduce intended and unintended negative outcomes, not only the positive ones, as we talked about the Tay that we are already talking about. So by taking a responsible approach, companies will be able to create AI systems that are efficient and compatible with regulations, ensure that development process consider all the ethical, legal, and societal implications of AI, track and mitigate bias in the AI models, build trust in AI, prevent or minimize the negative effects, and get rid of ambiguity about whose default it is if something in AI goes wrong. So all of this will help organizations pursuing AI power prevent potential reputational and financial damage down the road. So, responsible AI isn't something that exists in the theory. Three major tech giants, Google, Microsoft, IBM, and many other technical organizations, they have called for artificial intelligence to be regulated and build their own governance frameworks and guidelines. So, this brings us to the heart and soul of responsible artificial intelligence. That is, what are the key principles of a responsible AI? So, this picture here represents the core principles, but their number can vary from one organization to another, not to mention that the ways that are interpreted and operationalized can vary too. Like, first, let's talk about fairness. So, fairness, the principle says that AI systems should treat everyone fairly and avoid affecting similarity situated groups of people in different ways. Simply put, they should be unbiased. So humans are prone to be biased in their judgments. Computer systems, in theory, have the potential to be fairer when making decisions. But we should not forget that ML models learn from real world data, that is, from our humans themselves, which is highly likely to contain biases. This can lead to unfair results, as initially equal groups of people may be systematically disadvantaged because of their gender, race, or sexual orientation. So, for example, Facebook's in a case study, it was written that Facebook's ad serving algorithm was accused of being discriminatory as it reproduced real world gender disparities when showing job listings, even among equally qualified candidates. So, this case proves the necessity to work towards developing systems that are fair and inclusive for all, without favoring anyone or discriminating against them, and without causing harm. So, to enable algorithm fairness, you can research biases and their causes in data. Training data, like an unequal representation of classes in training data, like when the recruitment tool is shown more resumes from men, making women a minority class. Identify and document what impact the technology may have and how it may behave. Define your model fairness for different use cases. Update training and testing data based on the feedback from those who use the model and how they do it. So, questions to be answered to ensure fairness are like, is your AI fair? Is there any bias in the training data? Because that's the main important concern when we are training the models. Are those responsible for developing AI systems fair minded? The second principle is the reliability and secure safety. Okay, first let me cover the privacy and security. So, privacy principle, like the principle of privacy and security says that AI systems should be able to protect private information and resist attacks just like other technology. So, AI systems are required to comply with privacy laws and regulatory bodies that govern the data collection, processing, and storage and ensure the protection of personal information. So, in few countries, data privacy concerns, like in Europe, the data privacy concerns are addressed by the General Data Protection Regulation. So, to ensure privacy and security in AI, we should develop a data management strategy to collect and handle data responsibly, implement across control mechanisms, use on device training when appropriate, advocate the privacy of ML models. So, when we are ensuring the data privacy and security, the question to be answered is AI technology violating anyone's privacy? How do you protect data against attacks and confirm the security of your AI? And how will your AI system protect and manage privacy? So, as said, ML models learn from the training data to make predictions on new data inputs. So, in many cases, especially in the healthcare industry, training data can be quite sensitive. For example, the CT scans and MRIs, they contain details that identify a patient and are known as protected health information. So, when using patient data for AI purposes, companies must do additional data pre-processing work, such as anonymization and de-identification, not to violate the rules, the health insurance portability and the accountability rules that adds the privacy of health records in US and other countries. The next principle talks about the reliability and safety. That is, AI systems should operate reliably, safely, and consistently under normal circumstances and in unexpected conditions. Organizations must develop AI systems that provide robust performance and are safe to use while minimizing the negative impact. What will happen if something goes wrong in the AI system? How will the algorithm behave in the unforeseen scenario? AI can be called reliable if it deals with what if and adequately responds to the new situation without doing harm to the users. So, to ensure the reliability and safety of AI, one may want to consider the scenarios that are more likely to happen and ways a system may respond to them. Figure out how a person can make timely adjustment to the system if anything goes wrong, and put human safety first. So, when we are working with privacy and safety, uh, reliability and safety. So the questions which need to be answered is your AI system reliable and stable? Does it meet performance requirements and behave as intended? And can you govern and monitor the powerful AI technology? Then comes another principles, that is transparency, interpretability, and explainability. So people should be able to understand how AI systems are making the decisions, especially when those decisions impact people's lives. So AI is often a black box rather than a transparent system, meaning it's not that easy to explain how things work inside. After all, while people sometimes can't provide satisfactory explanations for their own decisions, understanding complex AI systems such as neural networks can be difficult even for the machine learning experts. So, for example, in 2019, Apple launched its credit cards. People could apply for the card online and were automatically provided with credit limits. However, it turned out that women were given much lower credit limits than men. In addition to being unfair, it wasn't quite clear how the algorithm performed and provided the outputs. We can assume that the company failed with transparency and explainability principles when developing this model. So, all of this raises many questions in terms of interpretability and transparency of ML models. So, they range from legal concerns about how our data is being processed to ethical and moral dilemmas, such as the trolley problem, whether a self driving car should sacrifice one person to save the lives of many. So while you may have your own vision of how to make AI transparent and explainable, here there are some practices to null over. Decide on the interpretability criteria and add them to a checklist. That is, which explanations are required and how will they be presented. Make clear what kind of data AI systems use, for what purpose, and what factors affect the final result. Document the system's behavior at different stages of development and testing. Uh, Communicate explanations on how a model works to end users, convey how to correct the system's mistakes. So, questions to be answered to ensure transparency and integrity is that can you and your team explain both the overall decision making process and the individual predictions generated by your AI? The next uh, Okay, one more principle, that is accountability, which I have not mentioned in the slides. It says that people must maintain responsibility for and meaningful control over the AI systems. I'm talking about the accountability. So, this last but not the least, all stakeholders involved in the development of AI systems are in charge of the ethical implementations of their use and misuse. So, it is important to clearly identify the roles and responsibilities of those who will hold accountability for the organization's compliance with the established AI principles. So, there's a correlation between the degree of complexity and autonomy of the AI system and the responsibility intensity. So, the more autonomous AI is, the higher the degree of accountability of the organization that develops, deploys, or uses the AI systems. That's because the outcomes may be critical in terms of people's lives and safety. So, working on this principle, we need to answer, do you have robust governance models for your AI system? Have you clearly defined the roles and responsibilities of individual accountable for AI development? So these are some general principles, and all the organizations, they are developing their own guidelines based on these principles. Now comes like how like implementing the responsible AI. So, j- while organizations may take different routes to create and implement responsible AI guidelines, there are few general approaches that can help but put principles into practice. Define what responsible AI means for your company. Make sure the entire organization is on the same page in regard to your responsible AI initiatives. For this, you may want to involve top managers and executives from different departments to collaborate on drafting the principles that will lead the design and use of AI products. Developing principles and training, that is, build values that guide your responsible AI solutions and distribute them across the organizations. You may also need to train different teams on a company specific approach to enable responsibility in an AI product. Establish human and AI governance. Establish the roles and responsibilities, mechanisms for AI performance review, and accountability for the outcomes. Then integrate the available tools. Evolve your standard machine learning pipelines, including data collection, model building to the level at which responsible AI principles will be met. For this, you may offer available methods and tools provided by industry leaders like Microsoft, Google, IBM, Accenture, PwC. They offer their responsible AI toolkit, a suite of services covering frameworks and leading practices, assessments, and technologies. Uh, Google and Microsoft also provides tools and frameworks that come under the umbrella name Explainable AI and Responsible AI resources completively. So it can be difficult to demonstrate whether an algorithmic model is performing well for a responsibility standpoint. So organizations have many ways can implement responsible AI and demonstrate that they have eliminated the black box AI models. So the current strategies include ensure data is explainable in a way that a human can interpret, ensure design and decision making process are documented to the point where if the mistake occurs, it can be reverse engineered to determine what went wrong. Build a diverse work culture and promote constructive discussions to help mitigate the biases. Use interpretable latent features to help create human understandable data. And create a rigorous development processes that value visibility into each applicant's latent features. So some successful real life examples of responsible AI are like the world has already faced many consequences of AI failures, and in the past few years, uh, many organizations have started building their own governance policies. People, like, luckily, people have this thing called the brain, so they are capable of learning from mistakes. So, with the shift towards the responsible use of AI, many companies have succeeded many companies have succeeded with their projects big time. So let's take a look at few of the real world examples that IBM helps. Yeah. So IBM has its own ethics board dedicated to the issues surrounding artificial intelligence. IBM AI Ethics Board is a central body that supports the creation of ethical and responsible AI throughout IBM. So their guidelines and resources focus IBM focuses on include AI trust and transparency, everyday ethics for AI, open source community resources, and research into trusted AI. So a large US corporation has teamed up with IBM to automate its hiring process while keeping its AI unbiased. So, in terms of attracting and recruiting new candidates, it was crucial for the employer to drive diversity and inclusion while ensuring fair and trustworthy decisions of its ML models. So, the company wanted not only to put fairness in place by speeding up the identification of any bias in hiring, but also to understand how AI models make decisions. So for that, they made use of IBM Watson Studio, an AI monitoring and management tool on the cloud pack for data. Then State Farm, an insurance company, it develops its responsible AI framework. It's a large group of mutual insurance companies throughout the United States. They have incorporated AI into its claim handling process along with responsible AI strategy. The company has established a governance system that assigns accountability for AI and allows for making faster and more informed decisions while creating even better customer and employee experiences. So the company's AI model called Dynamic Vehicle Assessment Model, DVAM, they help predict the total loss with a high level of confidence while enabling transparency regarding the method of processing insurance claims. H&M, they set up responsible AI team and create their own practical checklist. So it's one of the world's biggest fashion retailers. They use AI capabilities for their sustainability and supply chain optimization goals, as well as personalized customer experience. So in 2018, the company created a responsible AI team and established a practical checklist that aimed to identify and mitigate potential harms of AI use. So from then on, all H&M Group's AI products are designed in accordance with the nine guiding principles as being focused, beneficial, fair, transparent, uh, collaborative, governed, reliable, secure, and respectful of privacy. So every AI initiative of the retail giant goes through many stages of assessment with product teams performing responsible AI checklist reviews. So, some responsible AI frameworks, these are just two giant examples, but there are many others available these days in the market. So, Microsoft has created its own responsible AI governance framework with the help from their AI ethics and effects in engineering and research committee and Office of Responsible AI groups. So, these groups work together with Microsoft to spread and unfold their defined responsible AI values. So you can check their websites, all the guidelines, toolkit, assessment sheets, both in the case of Microsoft and Google are available there, which can be used by the other organizations as well. They like the other guidelines created by them for the AI products being developed by their team, but it can be used and referred to while designing your own guidelines. So it's responsible for setting the company-wide rules for responsible AI through the implementation of governance and public policy. So Microsoft has implemented a number of responsible AI guidelines, checklists, and templates. So all of them are available on their website. So some of these include human AI interaction guidelines, conversational AI guidelines, inclusive design guidelines, AI fairness checklist, templates for data sheets, AI security engineering guidelines. Google is also they have also have their own set of principles for uh, just a second. They also have their responsible AI practices, and they have general recommended practices for AI like fairness, interpretability, privacy, security, etc. So currently they are also developing there is a tool known as Know Your Data, which help developers understand the data sets with the goal of improving data quality. So helping to mitigate fairness and bias issues. So product teams use these tools to evaluate. They have their entire review process. So they have general assessment sheets and checklist available on the website. So for any AI product being developed, it goes through the review process to evaluate their words alignment with the AI principles. So, what's the future of responsible AI? There was a movie I Robot. So the in there the fictional robot was based on the ideas of Isaac Asimov, and namely the first law of robotics, stating that a machine should not harm a human, or by inaction allows a human to come to harm. So, in this situation, when the robot could have saved the life of only one person, it calculated that the chances of saving Will Smith's character were higher than the chances of saving his child. So, this is typically more dilemma even humans would find difficult to solve. So, should a robot prioritize a child's life? Should it save the person who can help society more? So, can machines make accurate, bias aware decisions at all? So, these and other questions swirl about in the field of AI in these days. So, as of now, when it comes to building technology and using data responsibly and ethically, organizations are at different stages of the journey. So, responsible AI is and will continue to be an active area of research and development with the aim of creating standard guidelines for organizations operating in different industries. So, we whatever systems we are working on or whatever organizations, it is our responsibility to avoid the dark side and the black boxes of AI. So we need to form our own guidelines, governance policies, make sure that the AI, whatever AI systems we are creating, they are beneficial to the society instead of creating the harms. So that's all from my side. In case of any queries, I'm open. Thank you.